So Ahab had been looking for Elijah for a long time, and then Elijah came to meet him. And Ahab immediately says, "You troubler of Israel, you've caused all these problems." And Elijah says, "No, I haven't caused the problems. You caused the problems because you led the people to disobey God and to worship Baal. And here's what we're going to do. You say Baal is God. I say he's not. So we're going to meet up at Mount Carmel. I want you to bring all the people. I want you to bring all these so-called prophets of Baal and any other prophets of any other god you got. And we're going to see who's really God." And Ahab said, "Okay." And we'll pick up the story in 1 Kings chapter 18, verse 20. So Ahab sent that message all through Israel. He gathered the prophets together on Mount Carmel. Elijah went there and stood in front of the people. He said, "How long will it take you to make up your minds? If the Lord is the one and only God, worship him. But if Baal is the one and only God, worship him." The people didn't say anything. Then Elijah said to them, "I'm the only one of the Lord's prophets left, but Baal has 450 prophets. Get 2 bulls for us. Let Baal's prophets choose one for themselves, let them cut it into pieces, and let them put it on the wood, but don't let them set fire to it. I'll prepare the other bull, I'll put it on the wood, but I won't set fire to it. Then you pray to your God, and I'll pray to the Lord. The God who answers by sending fire down is the one and only God." Then all the people said, "What you are saying is good." Elijah said to the prophets of Baal, "Choose one of the bulls. There are so many of you, you prepare your bull first. Pray to your God, but don't light the fire." So they prepared the bull they had been given. They prayed to Baal from morning until noon. "Baal, answer us," they shouted, but there wasn't any reply. No one answered. Then they danced around the altar they made. At noon, Elijah began to tease them. "Shout louder," he said. "I'm sure Baal's a god. Perhaps he has too much to think about, or maybe he has gone to the toilet, or perhaps he's away on a trip. Maybe he's sleeping. You might have to wake him up." So they shouted louder. Now it was past noon. The prophets of Baal continued to prophesy with all their might. They did it until the time came to offer the evening sacrifice, but there wasn't any reply. No one answered. No one paid any attention. Then Elijah said to the people, "Come here to me." So they went to him. He rebuilt the altar of the Lord. It had been torn down. Elijah got 12 stones. There was one for each tribe in the family line of Jacob. The Lord's message had come to Jacob. It had said, "Your name will be Israel." Elijah used the stones to build an altar to honor the Lord. He dug a ditch around it. The ditch was large enough to hold 24 pounds of seed. He arranged wood for the fire. He cut the bull into pieces. He placed the pieces on the wood. Then he said to some of the people, "Fill 4 large jars with water. Pour it on the offering and the wood." So they did. "Do it again," he said. So they did it again. "Do it a 3rd time," he ordered, and they did it a 3rd time. The water ran down around the altar. It even filled the ditch. When it came time to offer the evening sacrifice, the prophet Elijah stepped forward. He prayed, "Lord, you are the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Israel. Today let everyone know that you are God in Israel. Let them know I'm your servant. Let them know I've done all these things because you commanded me to. Answer me. Lord, answer me. Then these people will know that you are the one and only God. They'll know that you are turning their hearts back to you again." The fire of the Lord came down. It burned up the sacrifice. It burned up the wood and the stones and the soil. It even dried up the water in the ditch. All the people saw it. They fell down flat with their faces toward the ground. They cried, "The Lord is the one and only God. The Lord is the one and only God."